Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. First and foremost, I would like to extend my warm welcome to all of you. We appreciate you taking time off your busy schedule to join us today. We hope that throughout this day and the rest of the week, you will learn a lot from our program. We have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging. To begin this program, we are pleased to have the head of Multimedia Department, Professor Madya Dr. Masrina Mustafa, to deliver the opening remarks.
And good day. All praises are due to Allah. With His grace and blessings, the Multimedia Department of the Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology proudly announces the Multimedia Week for 2022. It is commencing this week, starting from today until Friday, 28th of January 2022. Back in 2014, we began with Multimedia Day. It served as a platform to provide the students of our department to present and share their course projects with the public. Due to the overwhelming support from the departmental staff and students, it has gradually evolved to Multimedia Week. Ever since its commencement, we have welcomed many students from various courses. In fact, we also invited professionals from the industry to give talks, workshops, and as well as to evaluate our students' works and share their valuable inputs. The Multimedia Week has been conducted since 2014, and in 2021, Multimedia Week has been conducted online. Although we are facing the COVID-19 currently, where we cannot have the program face-to-face to reduce physical contact, that does not stop us from continuing to have the Multimedia Week, as it has successfully been the platform for students to exhibit their products, engagement with the industries, exchanging ideas, and obtaining feedback on the projects for the respective courses. For Multimedia Week 2022, we are proudly organizing 3 webinars. The first one is entitled Future-Proof Computer Science Graduates by Mr. Khalil Abdul Hakim, the Cloud Engineering Lead for Global Functions at Standard Chartered Bank. And the second one is by Mr. Luqman Hakim Muhammad Noor, the Vice President of Grenapps Solutions, regarding multimedia emerging technology. Are you ready? And the final webinar is Data Science for Banking System by Mr. Ahmad Fairuz Ali, Head of Data Analytics, Center of Excellence, Bank Islam Berhad. For more details regarding the tentative program, please refer to the event poster being shared. You may also extend the invitation and share the info with your friends. Several courses will be participating in this Multimedia Week, which include SKM 3201, Computer Graphics Modeling and Rendering, SKM 4313, Augmented Reality Application, SKM 4210, Speech Processing, SKM 4215, Creative Design Elements, SKM 3001, Technology Multimedia Technology, SKM 4200, Computer Animation, SKM 4400, Multimedia Project Management, and SKR 4307, Mobile Application. All sessions are open to public, so everyone is invited to participate and watch our students' presentation on their project masterpieces. Last but not least, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the management of FSKTM for giving their full support to our event, the representatives from industry, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank Islam, and Grenapps Solutions, who will be assessing our students' projects, the dedicated organizing committee who have worked so hard to make this event come true, the participating courses, lecturers, and students who make this event a success, and of course, thanks to all of you who are spending your precious time to support our event. So in the name of Allah and Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, it gives me great pleasure to officiate Multimedia Week 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mas, for the wonderful remarks. Moving on, let's watch a short montage presentation to enlighten today's ceremony. Thank you for a great montage video. Moving on, without further ado, I would like to invite all the participants to open up your camera for our photo session.
Oops, I guess I have talked more than the speaker, but not recorded. You are now here to listen. You are not here to listen to me talk, right? So without further ado, let us have some virtual reactions to welcome Mr. Luqman Hakim Muhammad Noor to present his sharing on multimedia, the center in the emerging technology. Mr. Luqman, the mic is yours. Thank you.
Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And welcome everybody. Thank you, Dr. Beng, for the introduction. Although it may sound something, it's actually nothing much. So today, what I'm really doing is basically to share with you some of the perspective that I have gained throughout the years, and to highlight some of the patterns that has happened in the past, and hopefully it can be some kind of guide for the youngs and the talented from UPM to pass their way into the future. So there are many of you here today coming from all kind of background, and I won't probably be able to tell you anything specifically tailored to you, but I could share something of my own and hope it will be a useful sharing for you in the near times and also in the long future to come for all of you. So there are three things that I can tell you or I can share with you this morning. The first one is dreams and opportunity. The second one, and probably the most relevant one to the topic today, is the future. And finally, we'll be discussing or talking a little bit about how and what can you do with regards all of this. So I really don't mind an interruption. If you really have a burning question in the middle of whatever I'm saying, you can go ahead and interrupt me, saying that you have a question and you don't want to forget it, and you want to be in the context, so you interrupt me. That's fine. That's fine by me. Okay. Well, dream. The first one is dream and opportunities. The one thing that everybody has already known but probably forgot, and this is one of the things that I truly believe myself, which is good things always happen for you even if you don't feel like it at the time. Okay, so how many of you here, when you first joined the university and you feel like this is a wrong field, or this is not something that you thought it will be, especially, you know, the Department of Multimedia in UPM? Can I get some kind of reaction? I just want to know that everybody is not sleeping though. Nothing?
I think the students can raise their hands.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you can just raise your hands if you have anything. I mean, related that what Encik Luqman said just now.
Okay. All right. Well, by this count, at the moment we have at least 2 or 3, but that's fine. So yeah, when I first get into my youth time, my dream was to become a pilot. You know, I did everything that I can for 13 years old until 18 years old to do whatever necessary to become a pilot. But for some reason, the cosmic, or you know, the fate does not allow me to go in that path. I end up in electrical engineering. So I am an electrical engineering by education. I've gained my first interest in computer communication and networking, well, primarily communication and networking during my electrical engineering courses. But to be honest with you, I have no deep interest or good relationship with my own personal course. But I finished my electrical engineering anyway. And soon after, I've got an opportunity to become a system engineer in Limos, and later become a system engineer in Jaring. Now, you might be wondering right now, what is this got anything to do with dreams and opportunity? See, despite of my hard working towards becoming a pilot, oh, by the way, mind you, I did got an offer to continue or pursue my pilot course in Banting, fully scholared, but you know, my mom doesn't really like me become a pilot, so I become an electrical engineer instead. So that's the dream, and then comes the opportunity. What I'm trying to say here is, I don't know what could have been or what will be if I actually go with the dream that I want. But during those years, I feel really, really bad about not having to go through my dream. And I feel like, you know, this is wrong. I don't want to do this. But later, I found out that communication and networking becoming something of my interest, and it actually led to the path of who I am today. I'm not saying I'm very successful, but I think I did buy, and so it's good. Okay, so having said that, if you feel like you are in the wrong field, you might want to look again into your current situation, make an assessment. But here what I can tell you. Even though you don't feel much like it now, you're probably the luckiest person today, and probably very lucky if you can change your perspective and do it right. Now, coming to the topic, the future. 15 to 20 years ago, you might not be aware about this. 15 to 20 years ago, .com was the center of the internet. Everything revolved around .com. There was hotmail.com, there was yahoo.com, and there's so many other business become very, very good when it was when it's around .com environment. So it became the center. It is actually the revolution of the internet and communication, and it has become to what they are today. Today you have facebook.com, instagram.com, so many. And these are all centralized infrastructure that has been very successful. Unfortunately, like politics, like countries' administration, like a lot of other things, opinion matters. Opinion of the people matters. So things get to move into a direction of, instead of centralization, they become decentralization. Now everybody need to have a say. Everybody need to be able to do things that they believe is right for them. And the same goes for internet. People are beginning and even trying to move the infrastructure from an centralized and server-centered infrastructure into a much more decentralized and individualized. So that is where the future are going right now. Okay. So having said that, the future of multimedia, why do we believe multimedia is becoming the center of technology? You guys probably noticed that Facebook is no longer calling themselves Facebook Incorporation. They call themselves Meta. You probably noticed Google has made a lot of investment in 3Ds, virtual realities, augmented realities, that you can even access those technology and platform from the lowest specification of a mobile device into the highest. Of course, the lowest can do a very minimum, the highest can do wonders about it. But what is the similarity of all of these patterns or development? No. Okay, what is the similarities? Oh boy, this is really weird. I really feel like I'm talking to myself. So, okay. So the similarities of this infrastructure or the pattern moving forward is that everything would be a visualized interaction. You start to see that a lot of large organizations are making investment into metaverse. Have you all heard metaverse? Okay.
Yes.
So this metaverse and also all the auxiliary infrastructure around it will become and have to be dependent on technology related to multimedia. So they are raising concern So if you, they are raising concern. So, you know, imagine a marketplace like Shopee or Lazada in a virtual reality environment. You'll be seeing all the products in a virtual context, and you could actually hold and roll the things in your virtual area. In your virtual environment. So now the raising concern would be, how do you know the things or the product that you're looking at right now is actually an authentic product? You know, who is the seller? You know, what happened to those people who cannot see, but they have no choice because the infrastructure or the platform of communication at the time, it will be in such of, you know, heavily multimedia environment. How do you know that this particular product is actually an authentic product produced by the manufacturer that you want? And most probably one of the most important thing is that how do you claim ownership over something virtual like that? Okay, and then once you already own something, or it should be belong to you, how do you distribute it? How do you sell it again, or how do you keep it? How do you securely transfer after a transaction? So why are we calling this multimedia the center of emerging technology? The good news is we are very early in this development now, and you are in the field of study that exactly going to into that direction. So if you feel bad today, you know, maybe some of you thinking you're joining multimedia department or multimedia course, thinking about purely becoming an animator, or you're thinking about purely to become a sound engineer, or you want to become a film director, you know, you are all not that wrong. Actually, you are all not that wrong. The field of studies that UPM currently offer to you might just be the answer of the future. Today, you might not see a lot of people asking whoever that has understanding or knowledge about deep video analysis. Today, that requirement is just scarce. It's like only a security company that handles facial recognition probably want to hire you today. There's not a lot of people who want to look for somebody with an knowledge or experience handling image comparison or deep analysis image comparison. Not much of job offering in that area today. But in 1 or 2 years coming, due to the future of the way internet is going to be, all of these studies are going to become very important, because the platform that the industry is currently developing on, they are not ready for transaction. Okay, so the following are the things that I want to talk about. The platform in the future are primarily, or at least it will begin with, blockchain. I hope many of you have heard blockchain, but you have to remember, blockchain, you don't always make it synonym to cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency and blockchain are two very different things, but very related to each other. But we save cryptocurrency for a different talk. What I want to talk about is blockchain as a platform, and then some of the concern that I mentioned before, like security, the ownership, distribution. Some of these concerns are being addressed by NFT. NFT, again, I hope you are also somewhat familiar with the terms of NFT. And these two platforms are going to be the basis of creating the metaverse in the future. Okay. However, blockchain, NFT, these are the fundamental platform, of the potentially a full-fledged metaverse environment in the future. However, they would require everything that has anything to do with image, audio, and also video, because this is how the technology of communication going to happen in the future. Today, we are here in this virtual online, and it looks so flat, right? I mean, you're looking at your screen and I'm looking at my screen. It works. It does. It works. However, in the future, you can imagine, instead of checking in front of your screen like this, what could happen is actually you're putting on your glasses and you check in, and you are actually in UPM hall room. And you know, if it certainly feel like you're playing a game. How many of you play Genshin Impact? I'm not asking the lecturer here. I'm asking the young. Okay. Well, 3 participants. So imagine Genshin Impact in real life. Oh, sorry. Genshin Impact as you. You know, that main character is actually you walking around in the virtual world, except that virtual world is looking like very much like a real world. So that is the future we're talking about that could be implemented very soon. You know, with industry player like Facebook and Google, they begin to invest multi-billion dollars in this area as of last year. And Facebook even got themselves very daring. They even changed their company to Meta Inc. instead of Facebook Inc. So that shows how serious they are. And when giant like this going into the industry and put a lot of resources into it, you can really say that this emerging technology is going to surface very soon. So the future of multimedia studies is actually very bright. I believe that all of these concerns are valid, and as soon as they are addressed, for example, the security, the communication, like the large audience of communication, especially for disabled, you know, like I said, people who can't hear, people who can't see, they need to solve this issue as well when it comes to the effective communication in the future. So whatever field of studies that you are doing right now in the multimedia department, you might want to look again and adjust your perspective accordingly and do it right, because it could be a very lucrative future waiting for you. You know, multimedia is no longer just Bobo Boy animation or Upin and Ipin. It involves everything. Okay, so let me take another example that is already close by to us. The NFT. NFT, well, for the sake of making a definition of it, it's non-fungible token. So if you do your website Google, if you do a Google on a website, probably on YouTube, do a Trevor Noah NFT. I think Trevor Noah. Okay, anybody know Trevor Noah? Okay, just Google on YouTube Trevor Noah NFT. He provide a very good layman explanation about NFT and how NFT going to go forward in the future. Okay, so as an example of near of us right now, NFT provides solution to authenticity, meaning it will be able to tell you who own this particular intellectual properties, these digital intellectual properties. That's one thing that can be applied on how you use NFT. Authenticity and also certificate of ownership. Today, they use NFT to tie their song. So, you know, people create their product like songs or short videos. Initially, it was initially the method is you uploaded it somewhere and claim it ownership, right? You said that okay, this is on your Facebook, owned by who, and so on and so on. But with NFT, you don't have to upload it anywhere. Even if it gets uploaded somewhere, you can trace it back to who is the original owner of that song. And because of that, you can sell it on your own too. So this thing has become beyond server-centric infrastructure. It becomes yours. So there are a couple of things that you might want if you are interested in pursuing this multimedia technology and field of studies. There are a couple of things that you need to check when it comes to the internet. Number one, get yourself familiarized with Web 3. Web 3.0, NFT, blockchain, and finally, metaverse. Okay, these four things would shape the new future of how communication would be and how the computer interaction would be. So in the next 2 years, you may not see, we may not see like a tremendous change, but in the next 2 years would be the years where development, research, and investment happens a lot on these four things. Blockchain ensure data authenticity. Our MySejahtera is basically supported by blockchain. Why? Because blockchain infrastructure or blockchain data, it's literally almost impossible to hack. Okay, why is it almost impossible to hack? I think that's probably good to become one of your homework. See if you're really interested in this. You might want to check them out. But the keyword is decentralization. Everybody can check everyone else authenticated values. And that's why it is virtually, or it is literally almost impossible to hack. You can't change information. You can't change record on blockchain by brute force. You have to get a proper authentication before you can change the data or the record. So it's probably a good homework for you to look into a blockchain and how blockchain work and why is it almost impossible to hack. It's heavily related to NFT and would be the platform of metaverse in the future. So dream and opportunity, the future, and finally you. How is it all of this relates to you? It is actually depends on what is your perspective looking at your field of study today. Okay. When you have seen the potential of this area of studies, you got to decide and you have to do it right. So the information that you got today, the decision that you have to decide soon, to be honest, on the simplest way to put it, whatever decision that you make today and whatever decision that you have made in the past, they are actually the right decision at the time with all the information that you have at the time. You know, it could be wrong in the future, but that's okay, because all the good things always happen to you, even if you don't feel like it at the time. So those are probably one of my most powerful concept that I hold on to. Because whenever bad things happen, this concept helps me a lot, you know. During these 19 years or slightly earlier than that, in my early life, not everything goes my way. I mean, a lot of things goes sideways. But I've come to realize even if it went sideways, it's still very good for me in the future. So, and for you, if you feel like whatever field of studies that you're doing right now, it doesn't feel right, it feels like wrong, probably what I have told you today could be or could give you a different perspective that you might want to discover yourself. So you can prepare and adjust yourself into the potential future that you may have. Okay, so I think that is all that I can share with you this morning. You may ask question if there is any, or you can ask me a specific question that you may have in terms of technology or ideas.
Any participants can switch on your mic if you have questions. We can direct interact with our speaker today. So any of you wish to ask question, you may just switch on your mic and speak to our speaker here. Quite difficult to make a date with our VIP speaker. So please grab this chance to have a chat or ask anything. If you have any doubts, just voice out. So while waiting, maybe some of you too shy to speak, you can type. Okay, you take your time to type. Let me ask my question first. Okay. Okay, there's one question. What really is NFT and what your opinion about it? So can Mr. Luqman explain more a bit on NFT?
Yes. NFT. What is the? Well, NFT is non-fungible token, meaning It's a token that you cannot destroy. Okay, it's a token that you cannot destroy. When let's say you take a picture of your drawings. Let's say you like to paint. Okay, you paint a beautiful scene picture, and you want to claim the right of ownership of that picture. The physical picture is with you, so it's easy for you to say that it's yours. Okay, but you wanted to put it online on Facebook, for example, but you do not want other people to say that it is theirs. So what you can do is you take that picture, and then you upload the picture to mint the NFT, the token. So it's like you assign a certificate, a digital certificate to that picture. That certificate will contain the information of that picture itself, the layer of the image. The more layer that you can create during your NFT processing, the harder people to deny that that product is yours or that image is yours. When it's created, you can even put a story in it. Why do you have that picture? Why do you paint that picture? What inspire the picture um, uh, for you to paint that picture? So when you assign that NFT to that picture, now due to blockchain nature or how it works, now that picture become really yours in a digital environment. Once that record is being replicated into thousands and hundreds of thousands machine on the internet, nobody would have the power to hack all of those machines to claim that this belong to someone else but not you. So fundamentally, that is how NFT and blockchain work. It can assign you to a property over a digital platform, and you can claim ownership about that. But that's not all. NFT also enables you to sell it. Okay, right now, in the current or available platform right now, from Malaysia, there is pentas.io that hosted NFT gallery. That's in Malaysia. But if it's in the world scenario, you have many. You have OpenSea. You have, okay, I remember OpenSea only. So you can actually upload your NFT there and you can sell it. Okay, using a cryptocurrency account. At the moment, all NFTs supported by cryptocurrency only. Okay, so well, in the future, who knows? Someone might do NFT into a normal currency and make it easier to transact. How is this important? Why do we want to do it? Because it would enable the gig economy everywhere. Orphans, single mother, people who lost their job. Not everybody can cook nasi lemak and sell over Shopee or Grab or Food Panda, right? Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can have the funding to look into what China producing and then do a drop ship or reselling it in Shopee, because to do that you require some kind of funding first, right? But with NFT, as I said, you can create your own jingle, ting 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 on something, and then you NFT it, and then you can auction it. Of course, right now we are talking about cryptocurrency. People will buy based on cryptocurrency, and then you have to find a way how to convert your crypto into a real ringgit Malaysia or US dollar. Okay, so I hope that that gives you an idea on what is NFT. NFT is like a platform where you can provide a digital ownership for you. Why is it so special? Because it's almost impossible to hack unless you purposely transfer it to someone else with a transaction or without a transaction. Without that, you won't be able to transfer that ownership to someone else. Even if you transfer that ownership to someone else, it still has the record that says you are the original owner. In fact, you are the original creator. And my opinions about it, NFT, like I said, it will be one of the platform that going to solve some of the issues of the communication technology in the future. I mentioned about ownership, authenticity. All of these are all the issues that we already have now in the normal website, Web 2.0 that we have. You know, whenever somebody posts a news on Facebook or on Instagram, because we're trying to fight fake news, we always want to verify who is this user, right? So right now, Facebook are doing things like their check marks, and they manually authenticate people to show that those people are actually they are who they say they are. However, in an environment of decentralized infrastructure, Facebook has no say, Google has no say. The only thing that you can do now is to authenticate yourself and hold that information for yourself. So once you do that, it will become very hard for other people to impersonate you or to make a duplicate of your product. So NFT and blockchain, they are together. In my opinion, they will be the platform or the technology that is going to help the future that we're going to have. So is that specific enough or?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Luqman. I think with this short introduction, we have years to learn, okay, in deep about this area. So at least we have a starting point. We know where to go in. So take note of what Mr. Luqman have said, and we try to explore more. We ask Mr. Google. Okay. Yeah, I think there are many things more for us to explore.
Oh yeah. Whoever that doing studies on the video analysis and also audio analysis, you guys are probably one of the first who's going to be hot in the market, because everybody wants to be able to tell whether this video was originating from an authentic source. You heard about deepfake. You heard about a lot of things related to fake things, and they are usually related to video that being recorded somewhere. So deep analysis of video and audio, or even a still image, this probably become very, very hot soon, with especially with NFT. Because one of the challenge that I have right now is, if we mint or we create an NFT of a certain let's say a song or a video, the challenge is when someone copy it and then put it on a different blockchain cloud, you will have a very hard time to authenticate whether that is the same product or it's a variance or it was originally from this and then edited. So we still need that solution. We are already able to do things like uh, authenticating a certain digital product on the same blockchain. But when it moved to a different blockchain, it's totally different story. And you know, there are people under the IEEE who's trying to create a bridge between blockchain networks. But all of this will come down to what can you do with the actual file, or the actual video, the actual audio, or the actual image. Even if it links before after this, you still need to be able to tell whether this thing has been tempered in a certain way or not. So yeah, those folks who are currently in the studies of deep of anything, deep of video, or deep of audio and image analysis, it's a very exciting years to come, with a lot of opportunities and probably high pay salaries too.
Yeah, I believe in this, among the participants, also many content creators. I think they would like to know how to protect their creations as well.
Yes, NFT.
Yeah. So thank you. Let us see the next question. Okay, there's one regarding the term multimedia. So previously when we talk about multimedia, our mindset will be animation, cartoon, drawings, images, photos. But now multimedia has evolved. So what do you think, Mr. Luqman? So is multimedia still the creative side, or now is it the hybrid, or is shifting towards the scientific side?
Okay. I think it's a cultural thing why it got sidetracked from what it actually meant. If you look at the words itself, it's multimedia. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do with cartoon or just songs. However, you know, the industry or the marketing people change this perspective. So to the large community, multimedia still means cartoons or songs or animation. They still believe that's what it is. However, in the basic definition, multimedia simply means you have a different medium of content. It's audio, it's still picture, moving picture, or films. These are all multimedia. The issue here, whether multimedia is the same or not, in the near future, multimedia, whether it's cartoon or the specific study of different media, they will become very important. Very important, because as of now, my team and the rest of the industry are looking ways to enable transaction, meaning ringgit and dollars. The current infrastructure is considered not ready because we are not able to do transaction yet. But as soon as we can transact money on this platform, the real money, I'm not talking crypto, just crypto. I'm talking about the real dollars, the real ringgit Malaysia, and we would be able to support and address the concerns which I mentioned just now. The authenticity, the ownership, the method of transfer, the method of storing or keeping. Once all of this established and we have a standard to follow, multimedia become very, very important. Very, very important in ensuring the ownership and the transaction can happen and it being supported by a certain standard. Does that answer the question?
Yes, actually, I totally agree. Okay, because some of our students who came in our faculty or took the multimedia majoring, so they are like, hey, I like designs, I like development, like animation, but they regret that they took the computer science part. So I think with Mr. Luqman's explanation, I think the world will slowly or will really soon become digital, and it's good if our students have the talent in the creative side, and also they equip their knowledge in the digital or computing side. So it is the best situation. Okay, don't regret come in computer science and learn about multimedia. Okay, I believe this is the
If
best gift that you can get.
if you like making animation, if you like making animation, I think it's a plus, because like I said, imagine if we want to have a virtual meeting room like in Genshin Impact. I keep saying Genshin Impact because that's the only game that I know that has a real 3D environment. If you like making animation and thinking about converting your 2D into a real AR, VR, then you are all set. Continue on that path, because that's where we're going. I mean, who wants to have this kind of meeting anymore once you can walk into a real hall, a real virtual hall? I can actually see everyone in the meeting. You need to think about how to render individual in a space. I mean, from my device, I render my avatar. From your device, you render your own avatar, and how it reflects the movement of me with waving hand or talking to create a synchronous in sync time. So this is more than just creating animation. It is like creating animation onto the next level. You're probably not creating a story on your animation, but this may sound dodgy, but you know, your creation will create the story itself, because now you have so many components, so many people that can contribute to the story of that gathering, or you know. So imagine lockdowns and we don't feel like we're not locked down, because you can check in a virtual restaurant, and you can still hang out with your friends. But I don't know if we can go to an extent where you can taste mocha or cappuccino, but that's different. So I saw a, I hope I answered that question, but I saw a question.
Yes, Mr. Luqman is quite related, right, regarding the readiness of Malaysia and also acceptance of augmented reality and virtual reality and mixed reality applications and systems in Malaysia.
Correct. Thank you for bringing this one up. I think it's very interesting. How long do we have to wait for Malaysia's society really accepting AR and VR and MR application environment and system? We're talking Malaysia. Well, I think Asian people, Malaysian included, are the people who has the highest adoption rate. We can adopt just about anything as long as we like them. But when it comes to the technology, it's not about Malaysia society. I think if the technology and the devices are ready, our society would just jump into it. We are ready. The problem is not our society. The problem is actually related to the technology itself. Our brain, okay, the recent research or the research that I have come to interface The real problem with AR, VR is not the technology itself. The real problem is related to human health. You can play AR, VR for 1 hour, 2 hours, but if we're going to have like a whole day session of VR, our brain is going to hurt. And this has been in the research. So that's one of the issue. It's not safe yet. So I think to answer that question, how long do we have to wait for Malaysia society really accepting the AR, VR and the MR application environment system? I think as soon as it's mass produced, we can already accepting it because we like it. I think it's really efficient. For example, our meeting today, there are few changes happen, right? But we can switch it very quickly to rearrange the program because it happened virtually. It doesn't matter where I am. I can just check in. So imagine a VR and AR environment where it is similar. But AR has higher impact compared to VR. You can imagine when you don't need a computer in front of you, but there is one. How cool is that? You know, the entire software industry will change. You know, the entire hardware industry will change. Imagine that you don't need a PC to load up your Microsoft Word. You just put on your glasses and you are in the AR environment. With a few hand gesture, you open up a Microsoft Word in front of you with no device. And then you have your virtual keyboard right in front of you too. And you start working. How different is that? So AR has a larger impact in the technology soon. So, like I said, if that thing happened, how does Microsoft confirm that the software you load through your AR is a licensed software? Yeah, those are the issues. Why is it not ready today? You know, once these people solve those issues, you can see devices start going on, minus the health issue. You can open your Netflix by just putting your glasses and staring at the wall. And then you do your hand gesture responding to the buttons or whatever sensors that it has over there to play a movie of your selection. Crazy, right? But that's AR. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Luqman. We have another question. Oh, so many questions coming in. There's one from ES Zainuddin regarding my friend is an artist. He has many unsold drawings. Is it possible to turn all the drawings into NFT so that he can sell it?
It is possible, very possible. Okay, NFT as of today, it won't get sold just because you have a lot. The trick on NFT today, you need to sell it with a certain stories that going to draw interest from the public. For now, your friend can NFT those, convert it to NFT. You want to check out OpenSea or you want to check out pentas.io. You need to open your crypto account because NFT today does not do in Ringgit Malaysia directly or US dollar directly. However, to get that crypto account, you need to put your real Ringgit or dollars. That's the environment today until someone do something to change that. For now, it's not working that way yet. But just to answer your question, is it possible to turn all your drawings to NFT? Yes, you can. In fact, you can make an offering to the people who buy the digital copy, the NFT, to actually own the picture. Well, obviously, if they want to buy your NFT digital, they could also be very interested in owning the actual art. You can do that. But yes, OpenSea is in the international market. If you're really lucky, you probably create a very good story of your items, and Angelina Jolie probably likes it, and she bought it with, you know, millions. If you put it in the auction, it can go to millions. There's one guy who created NFT that contains of a collage of pictures of himself for the last 5 years, and, you know, sold it with a very good price. The of course, it's on crypto, so he's selling it with a few, I think, Ethereum crypto coin. Of course, it's very expensive. The challenge is to convert that crypto into ringgit. But there's also a channel to do that now. You can explore Luna apps. Luna has been authorized by Security Commissioner of Malaysia and also Bank Negara to help you convert cryptocurrency into ringgit Malaysia. You just have to use that software and do your tax accordingly. You know, with a lot of money comes a lot of tax also. I hope you get that. Yes, Pentas.io, OpenSea, Luna app, there are a few components.
Okay, Mr. Luqman, just now during your talk, you mentioned that you accepted that you have a change from your initial ambition of pilot, of becoming pilot, into an engineer. So I totally agree with you. So whatever we have now, what we were given, so they are gifts, so with a purpose, and we really can't expect what will happen in the future. But I believe that will be the best thing that is happening to us. So yeah, I agree with you. So some of the students, they might regret coming in. Oh, this wasn't my first choice. So yeah, I agree. So you can see the best example in front of every one of us, a very successful example in front of us in showing his handsome face there. So don't always complain what you have now. Okay, be grateful of what we have now, and someday, hopefully, we'll be successful in our own ways.
Correct.
So actually, there's one question I would like to ask Mr. Luqman. So there might be many gaps to be closed to make multimedia the center of emerging technology. In the smaller scope, let's say in Malaysia, we have challenges in, like for example, when we to do online, we have internet connection speed, or we are talking about affordability in the hardware equipment, or we talk about the research gaps or technical skills, or even it's quite difficult to find passionate people in the correct place. So Mr. Luqman, in your opinion, which will be the greatest challenge, okay, in a smaller scope in Malaysia, and what can the younger generations now, so especially our computer science students, they can do to prepare themselves for the future? So any advice for our students now, so how they can fit into this gap here, so that they are prepared for the future?
The question has a lot of element. The question that you posted there has a lot of element. Readiness, infrastructure. Okay, I couldn't recall every single one of them, but I keep registering. Okay, the question coming from all areas.
Actually, I'm trying to fit our vast variety of participants today. So how they can fit in to make this multimedia as the center of this emerging technology. So how they can fit into this this puzzle here. So what they can contribute, or how they can prepare themselves to fit into this future technology.
Right. Okay. So I think we have to be on a very broad-minded here. Okay. First and foremost, you have to do what you like. Okay. This is another so-called philosophy that I believe in. You have to do what you like. Unfortunately, what you like may not be the things presented in front of you. If you can learn to like the opportunity that you being presented, meaning you're always looking into the positive side of the event, you would be better prepared to go into whatever situation that you are facing on. So now that you are in multimedia course or multimedia studies, and how can you yourself fit into the potential or filling in the gaps that the industry may have right now? Okay, what can you do? After you look at something that you believe that you can like or have interest in, you have to look into where is this your interest actually being applied into the industry. So as an example, just now, you like to create animation. Okay, you can still like to create animation. Just know that your passion now has a higher purpose. Your animation, you need to think about how to generate animation on external input. You still be creating animation, but your animation now has an independent input. It's not directly from your design. Although all the movement, the templates, you are the one who's creating it. And the degree of the quality of this movement depends from one creator to another. So when it comes to animation, it has a dependency of software technology, the hardware you render, but also the creativity of the creator. You know, the time that they spend to render every movement. So I think it doesn't matter in which multimedia studies you are. All you need to do now is to actually understand your field of study and prepare yourself to do a little bit more. Or again, an example that I used just now, you like creating animation, but instead of creating animation based on your creative story that you have in your mind, while doing that, think about how about this story is being input by an external element, meaning you have an input method, someone else. So the animation still happens in the virtual world. You still need to render it and prepare all the templates or the sequence of animation. It's just that the inputs now come from someone else. So this kind of preparation, I think, apply to everything else. you like to create a song and you want to become a sound engineer. What is missing today? A virtual band. How do you put together a band? Two-person playing percussion somewhere else, guitar. You know, they have been able to do that today using the Zoom session and whatnot, but it doesn't happen real time. Someone play guitar, someone play drum, and then they combine those video and they sing the time so that it meets the tempo. So tempo become the center of how they sync their video. Okay. So the good musician would follow the tempo and it makes the video or the audio synchronization possible based on that tempo. Well, if we are in a virtual reality where millions of people logging into the virtual stadium, you can't do that. So how do we do it? During the pandemic, Ariana Grande created a virtual concert, right? Okay, yeah, given. But then she was, the music and her singing was synchronized real time in the real world, so that the server would be able to render the experience to everyone, just like how we're having our meeting today. Not everyone seeing me talking or Dr. Bang talking real time. Some of them may have delay, but of course the delay is very small because it's a server render. But then when you have multiple input, how do you do that? So, you know, apart from networking, apart from security, there's also this. If you want to enable a virtual concert which truly has a virtual environment where everything runs live, we got a problem. How do we solve that? Okay, so whatever field of study that you have or you get yourself into right now in regards to multimedia, the potential is very big. Do a little bit of study. Do a little bit of research and think about an application, because without application, all of these idea can be useful, but it's hard to make sense of it. So that's what I think. That's what I think every student should do. You all have your own like and dislike, but in pursuing your life in the future, we typically talk about first career, and then probably entrepreneur, or you go into academics. Whichever way that you want to do, or whichever path that you want to follow, throughout my experience, I always rationalized it through application. I think about how this thing apply to the real life. And then you will see there are so many dependencies, and these dependencies are opportunities. You may get someone else to help, or you can go into that study yourself. And amazingly, it could also become your residual source of income. When you think about application, you know, when people do a DNA study, you think they just want to study cell? No. When they first do DNA study, what they're thinking about is how to create a better corn. of course, they start with non-human item. So many years, they came out with GMO, the genetically modified organics. That's the result of DNA study. And whoever hold that patent, they're just super rich. GMO is not necessarily healthy, but that is an example of how people think about application, then do the study. It's the same with us here. What kind of application? What is it that you feel like, oh, if I can do this, maybe it will become a better world, or I can sell this, or I can help someone. Once you have that idea, you usually will see the challenge to get to that idea or to implement that idea. That challenge is actually opportunity. So the NFT, you can sell, but there's no ringgit Malaysia or dollar sign transacted. How many people out there understand NFT? Not many. So can we solve it? If someone can make a direct transaction and still has all the NFT function without necessarily being tied to cryptocurrency, I think NFT market will be even bigger. And that's what I'm trying to do. So any one of you who are interested in NFT and the technology based on NFT, you can come to us. We are trying to materialize that, because I think, like Encik Zainuddin, friends that has a lot of artwork. Right now, if he go to Pentas.io or OpenSea, chances are he'll need to learn cryptocurrency, how to liquidate the cryptocurrency, and on top of that, to maintain the crypto account. There's some challenges there. Me and my team, we are trying to create something that could actually be as direct as buying from Shopee, but it's NFT based. That's one of our project now. I hope that answer. I know it may sound a little bit vague, but really whatever you want to do in the future, you have to start believing in what you can do first.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Luqman. I think your answer is very clear and answers everything. Okay. My question was a bit vague, but your answer is really clear. So you mentioned that most importantly, passion and work in teams, and also we have to collaborate. So don't work alone, and each of you contribute in your own way, and something will come up. So definitely something like maybe today we form an alumni of Multimedia Week 2022. Maybe among these 83 people in this room here, if in 5 years time we can create something new, who knows, because all of us are from different has different knowledge and expertise. So yeah, maybe after you graduate, we come out to and discuss something and make something work. Or maybe some of you can contact Mr. Luqman and do something on NFT development. So yeah, I believe don't be like upset that you are not in whatever you like to do. This is the chance, and I believe computer science, engineering, you can go into any field that you like. You can go into engineering, you can go with medical. So yeah, there are many chances there. Try to do some survey, and there are many ways you can develop your career in future.